A warm welcome to all our viewers. I'm your host Pratiksha Mishra and you're watching another episode of South Asia Focus. Let's begin the show. India and the United States are moving closer to finalize an interim trade agreement with only a few issues left to be resolved. The development reflects the growing momentum in bilateral economic ties and is expected to give a fresh boost to trade, investment and strategic cooperation between the two countries. The United States remains one of India's largest trading partners, while India continues to emerge as a key economic partner for Washington in the Indo-Pacific region. Here's a report.
India and the United States share one of the world's most significant strategic and economic partnerships. As both countries continue to strengthen economic ties, negotiations on an interim bilateral trade agreement have entered the final stage. India has said that substantial progress has been made in the talks, with only a few outstanding issues remaining before the agreement can be finalized.
I have very categorically and on several occasions expressed the confidence that what we have finalized with the US as the first tranche of the bilateral trade agreement, which was announced by our leaders on 3rd of February, will come into operation as soon as the United States is able to ensure that we get a comparative advantage over our competitors, the countries in our neighborhood, the countries in the ASEAN region and other countries with whom we compete. That was the basis of our first tranche of the BTA. And once that basis is re-established, the US BTA will be ready, up and about.
The conversation between India and the United States on the proposed bilateral trade agreement is ongoing. Both sides have done a lot of work in this regard. There are certain issues which needs finalization, and both countries are working towards finalization of the interim bilateral trade agreement.
As trade negotiations advance, bilateral engagement continues to gather pace on multiple fronts. India's ambassador to the United States, Vinay Mohan Kwatra, held a series of high-level meetings in the US state of Georgia to deepen cooperation in trade, investment, logistics, innovation, and education. Experts say the economic relationship between the two countries has continued to expand, driven by growing investments and stronger business partnerships, irrespective of the trade agreement.
With or without the trade deal, the trade between the two countries is going up. The investment from Indian companies in the US is going up. The investment from US companies into India is going up. So if trade deals happen, great, but without the trade deal, the economic partnership continues between the two countries.
While negotiations on the interim trade agreement continue, recent tariff measures announced by the United States have also drawn attention. The US has imposed a 10% tariff on goods imported from India and 16 other countries. However, trade experts believe the move is unlikely to have a significant impact on Indian exports, as the tariff remains comparatively lower than those imposed on many other economies, preserving India's competitive position in the US market.
It is not going to impact our exports. If you see that India, beside other 16 countries, is placed into 10% category, where a large number of countries, around 38, has been put into 12.5% category. EU and Taiwan, they are the exception. They are under 10% category, but that may include the MFN tariff also. And South Korea, Japan, Switzerland, they are in 12.5% country, including our MFN. So by and large, we have got the best deal among these countries.
With negotiations entering the final stage, the proposed interim trade agreement is expected to provide fresh momentum to one of the world's fastest growing strategic economic partnerships. Even as businesses on both sides continue to expand investments and strengthen supply chains, The agreement could further improve market access, boost investor confidence, and create new opportunities for trade and innovation.
India's space ambitions are reaching new frontiers and drawing global attention. From the success of Chandrayaan-3 to preparations for the Gaganyaan mission, the country is redefining its role in space exploration. Driving this momentum is a new generation of young innovators developing cutting-edge technologies that are shaping the future of India's space ecosystem.
3, 2, 1, 0.
India's recent space milestones have sparked a new wave of innovation among its youth. Inspired by missions such as Chandrayaan-3, Aditya L1 and Gaganyaan, young minds are helping shape the next generation of space technologies. At Space Kids India in Chennai, students go beyond textbooks, designing rockets, building satellites, and gaining hands-on experience with real-world space missions.
I love missiles, so I really wanted to build missiles. So there is a very small gap between missiles and rockets. So in order to bridge it, Space Kids give me the opportunity to build rockets. So we have already launched 2 rockets. Those are solid propulsion rockets. And now we are under R&D of electric rocket.
Space Kids India has pioneered several student-led space missions. Among its landmark achievements is Kalamsat, one of the world's lightest and earliest 3D printed satellites. Initiatives like Azadi Sat have introduced thousands of students to hands-on space technology, giving them the opportunity to contribute to real missions instead of only learning about the space in the classroom.
नासा के ज़रिए हमने ये दुनिया के हल्का सा पेलोड है। बच्चों को पेलोड समझ में नहीं आता, तो इसीलिए हम सैटेलाइट बोलते हैं, क्योंकि सैटेलाइट मतलब ऑर्बिट करना है अर्थ को। ये पैराबोला है, ऊपर जाके नीचे आ गया। तो इसको जब हम लॉन्च किए थे 2017 में, एकदम हलचल मच गया देश में कि बच्चों के ज़रिए सैटेलाइट्स बना सकते हैं।
As India's space ecosystem continues to expand, more young innovators are stepping into the sector than ever before. Dr. Srimati Kisan believes the next chapter of space exploration will be shaped by young talents, bold ideas, and breakthrough technologies.
जब हम शुरू किए थे, बस हम 2 स्टार्टअप्स थे। स्टार्टअप का नाम भी नहीं था, शब्द भी नहीं था। तब हम आए थे, मतलब 2013 में। अभी 350 स्टार्टअप्स है।
We now take you to IIT Madras, where a student-led Mars rover team is pushing the boundaries of space technology through robotics, artificial intelligence, and autonomous systems. These young engineers are developing solutions for future planetary missions, exploring how advanced rovers could support space exploration. Recently, the team conducted experiments at the Physical Research Laboratory Ahmedabad, focusing on future rover-astronaut collaboration.
स्पेस मिशन में वी हैव मेंटेनेंस का टास्क। तो मेंटेनेंस में आपका ये जो आप देख रहे हैं मैनिपुलेटर, पूरा ये शोल्डर, ये एंड इफेक्टर, तो ये एंड इफेक्टर कोशिश करता है कि बहुत सारे टास्क कर सके। जैसे कि एस्ट्रोनॉट को, अगर एस्ट्रोनॉट किसी जगह पे नहीं जा सकता है तो वहाँ पे हम इस रोवर को भेजते हैं। वहाँ पर ये कुछ बटन स्विच ऑन कर सकता है, स्विच ऑफ कर सकता है, कोई इक्विपमेंट उठा सकता है। हमारे इस मैनिपुलेटर में इतनी क्षमता है कि वो 5 kg तक उठा सकता है।
Inspired by missions like Chandrayaan and Gaganyaan, India's young generation is no longer just dreaming of the stars. They are building the technologies that will take the nation closer to them. From classrooms to research labs, young innovators are shaping the future of space exploration and strengthening India's presence in the global space arena.
And now it's time for Asia This Week, bringing you the top stories shaping the continent.
People gathered at Kathmandu's mighty Gar Mandala in Nepal for a candlelight vigil honoring celebrated Nepali mountaineer Nirmal Purja and other climbers who died in an avalanche on Pakistan's Broad Peak. Participants lit candles, offered prayers, and observed a moment of silence in memory of the victims. Monks led prayers as mourners held photographs, banners, and incense sticks, paying tribute to the climbers' achievements and contributions to mountaineering. Japan's Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi reaffirmed Japan's commitment to its non-nuclear principles in Hiroshima as the city marked the 81st anniversary of the US atomic bombing. About 50,000 participants from 123 countries and regions, including a bomb survivors, observed a moment of silence in Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park. At least 7 people have reportedly lost their lives and several others sustained injuries after heavy monsoon rains triggered widespread floods and landslides across Sri Lanka earlier this week. The relentless rainfall submerged homes, agricultural land, and roads in several parts of the country, with the central mountainous region among the worst affected. The disaster has reportedly damaged nearly 300 houses and forced around 3,500 residents to evacuate to safer locations.
Moving on. Former Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has once again praised India, calling it Bangladesh's trusted friend, even as relations between New Delhi and Dhaka remain under strain following the political developments in Bangladesh. During her latest virtual address from New Delhi, Hasina thanked India for giving her shelter and support while sharply criticizing the current government in Dhaka. Here's a report.
Here is our friendly country. Anytime Bangladesh is in a disastrous position, India always stands behind them.
Nearly 2 years after leaving Bangladesh following the political upheaval of 2024, former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina remains in India. Addressing supporters and journalists through a virtual conference from New Delhi, Hasina described India as Bangladesh's friendly country and thanked New Delhi for standing by her during what she called one of the most difficult periods of her life. She also reiterated that the relationship between India and Bangladesh is rooted in history, culture, and the shared legacy of the 1971 Liberation War. During the conference, Hasina announced that she intends to return to Bangladesh in December despite facing legal cases and a death sentence handed on in absentia. She demanded the lifting of the ban on the Awami League, the release of political workers, and restoration of what she described as democratic institutions in Bangladesh. Hasina alleged that the cases against her were politically motivated and accused the current administration of economic decline and weakening democratic values.
I came here to join these events, and Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina gave her remarks as she determined to go back by December, and hope she will, with all the measures based on millions of her supporters, and the people are awaiting to welcome her. Defying all the atrocities, killings, rapes, lootings, violence, so need to stop. And the economy is ruined in our country. I believe this country is going down because the growth rate, GDP growth rate come 2.2%. It was continuously 6.5% and above. So no foreign investment, no new job creation, and the people lose the job, especially the garments industry. More than 30 lakhs of people lost their job, especially the women.
Hasina's advisor and son, Sajib Wazid Joy, also addressed the gathering. He alleged that Bangladesh was moving away from its secular and democratic foundations, warning that the country's current trajectory should be a matter of concern for India and the wider region. Meanwhile, Awami League leaders reaffirmed that the party would continue its political activities despite the ban imposed by the interim government.
Awami League is a political party. We will continue our political programs. We will continue to raise awareness amongst the people. We will campaign, canvass, and organize our people. As a political party, we hold demonstrations, we publicize our demands to the people. So we will continue how we had been continuing over the last 2 years, despite the prohibition, despite the ban.
The conference has also drawn a sharp reaction from Bangladesh, with Dhaka expressing its displeasure over Sheikh Hasina's address from New Delhi. However, India's Ministry of External Affairs has clarified that the Government of India had no involvement in the event. The MEA stated that the press conference at the Foreign Correspondents Club was organized by a private entity and that the government had no role in hosting or facilitating it.
First of all, I agree with what the Government of India has said, what the spokesperson of the Ministry of External Affairs has said. That this is a an event organized by a completely private entity, and Government of India is not involved in any way, nor do they will they have anything to say about what is said there. That's also something entirely for the private entity. So that, I think, is the correct position.
New Delhi has consistently maintained that it supports a stable, peaceful and democratic Bangladesh and has called for an environment where democratic rights are respected.
The Glasgow 2026 Commonwealth Games may have featured a reduced sporting program, but for India, the Games turned into a story of resilience, versatility and sporting excellence. Despite the absence of traditional medal-rich sports like wrestling, shooting, badminton, table tennis and cricket, India delivered one of its most remarkable Commonwealth campaigns, finishing 4th in the overall standings with 39 medals, 13 gold, 17 silver and 9 bronze.
When the sporting landscape changed, Team India changed with it. The Glasgow Commonwealth Games featured only 10 sports, eliminating several events that had traditionally contributed heavily to India's medal tally. Yet, Indian athletes refused to let the reduced program define their ambitions. Instead, they expanded India's success into newer disciplines and proved the country's sporting depth. India concluded the Games with 39 medals, 13 gold, 17 silver and 9 bronze, to secure 4th place on the medal table. While the total medal count was lower than previous editions due to fewer sports, the achievement was widely regarded as one of India's most significant Commonwealth performances because it came without several of its strongest medal-winning disciplines. Weightlifting once again set the tone. Olympic silver medalist Saika Mirabai Chanu opened India's gold medal account with another commanding performance, reaffirming her status as one of India's greatest champions and providing the perfect start to the campaign.
सभी का प्यार है वो चीज़ में उन्होंने मुझे प्रे किया है मेरे लिए तो बस मेरी तो सिर्फ इंडिया के लिए मुझे मेडल देना है वही था बाकी तो पूरा भारतवर्ष ने मुझे प्यार दिया है प्यार किया है उसी ने ही प्यार से नाम दिया है तो थैंक यू सो मच.
If there was one sport that defined India's dominance in Glasgow, it was boxing. Indian boxers delivered an unprecedented campaign, winning 10 medals, including a record 7 gold medals, the highest by any nation in boxing at a single Commonwealth Games. Among these standout performers were Nikhat Zareen, Meenakshi, Sachin Sivaj, Hitesh Gulia, Jadumani Singh, Muskan and Nupur, whose gold medal victories underline India's supremacy inside the ring. The performances underline India's emergence as a global boxing powerhouse and showcase the strength of its next generation of champions.
It's clear that the boxing future is very, very bright. As you know, we won a historic victory in the Commonwealth Games. No country in the history of the Commonwealth has ever won 7 golds in a single championship in boxing. So, historic win. Very, very proud of our boxers, and we hope that we can carry on like this. At this time, we are one of the top countries in the world, and we want to be the #1 boxing nation in the world. 10 medals overall and 7 gold. 10 medals, 7 gold, never achieved by anybody, as I said. All 10 semi-finalists reached the finals. Our national anthem was played 7 times in a single day. Our national flag was unfurled 7 times. in one day.
History was also written in judo. India celebrated its first ever Commonwealth Games performance in the sport, with athletes securing historic gold medals and proving that Indian excellence is steadily expanding beyond its traditional strengths. Athletics continued to produce memorable moments as India's stars competed against some of the world's best. Olympic champion Neeraj Chopra added another major international medal to his remarkable career by winning silver in the men's javelin, once again inspiring millions across the country.
बिल्कुल हमेशा खुशी रहता है कि नेशनल एंथम बजे, पर ठीक है, मैंने भी अपना सीजन वेस्ट किया है और कमबैक ठीक हो रहा है, अभी बाकी कॉम्पिटिशन्स भी हैं, तो काफ़ी खुशी है.
Another remarkable feature of India's campaign came from an unexpected quarter. Nearly half of India's medals were won by athletes from the Indian Armed Forces, highlighting the significant contribution of military sports programs in nurturing elite sporting talent and strengthening the nation's international performances. Beyond the medals, Glasgow reflected a changing sporting culture in India. Athletes excelled across weightlifting, boxing, judo, athletics, and para events, demonstrating that India's success is no longer dependent on just a handful of sports. Investments in coaching, infrastructure, and athlete development are steadily creating champions across multiple disciplines. The Glasgow campaign also offers confidence for the future. With India preparing to host the 2030 Commonwealth Games in Ahmedabad, the performances in Scotland provide momentum for the country's sporting ambitions and reinforce its growing stature on the global sporting stage. India leaves Glasgow with pride and confidence. And with that, we come to the end of this week's episode. See you next week. Till then, goodbye and take care.